Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the shocking story of American pickers. We have undoubtedly been extremely fortunate to have had the same staff for 13 years, and as a result, although my coworkers and I are quite close, life isn't always a fairy tale, and occasionally things take unexpected turns. Danielle Colby, one of the well-known characters on American Pickers, never believed that she would soon have to confront such a hard reality. When Mike Wolfe was found guilty, Danielle Colby's life was irrevocably altered. The killing of American Pickers office manager, Frank Fritz, who was renowned for his tattoos' iconic design and defiant demeanor, Colby now faces an impossibility. When everything she once believed in is completely upended, what will she do? Remember to go. If you identify with Danielle Colby, leave a remark with 1. If not, leave a comment with 0. Distinct viewpoint, so please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you're interested in learning the truth about it all. Keep yourself informed about what comes next. When Colby first appeared as a hesitant prosecution witness, he made an effort to remain impartial. Throughout the inquiry, however, startling new information has put her at the forefront of the ongoing dispute that is rocking the antique collecting world. Yesterday, federal authorities declared that they are adding Colby to their inquiry following finding a number of encrypted texts she sent with Wolfe in the days after Fritz's passing. These recovered messages from a backup server present a troubling image of Colby perhaps being aware of what happened prior to the murder, despite the fact that she has not been accused of any crimes. As investigators have dug deeper, the pressure on the reality TV star has increased. Thorough examination of American Pickers' actions, which seem to be growing more ominous with every new disclosure. Fans first backed Colby because of her moving testimony at Wolfe's trial, where she appeared to shudder as she explained how Mike's behavior had changed, and I saw that he had become. When I questioned him about making amends, she testified through tears that she was concerned with being the only representative of American Pickers. Frank grew protective and upset with her since her testimony was considered important in obtaining Wolfe's sentence, demonstrating his increasing dominance and Fritz-related paranoia. Going back to television, but forensic specialists discovered evidence while working with the FBI that suggests Colby may know more than she. When on the witness stand, according to court records made public this morning, Colby sent more than 200 communications to. In the week prior to Fritz's passing, Wolfe talked about Fritz's prescription regimen, and when he would be one especially damaging message while he was by himself at home. A message texted a few hours before to Fritz was discovered not responding, with the message, "He's alone right now, and nobody is planned to. The window is shutting tomorrow, so check on him." Wolfe's response was deleted. Fans were stunned by these disclosures since they thought Colby was one of the few sincere and honest characters on the show. Made many people feel sorry for her since she was torn between two rivals. Thieves were unaware that she might have played a direct role in the circumstances that led to Fritz's. Margaret Wilson, the attorney for death Colonel, out a succinct statement this morning denying any misconduct, and Ms. Colby has cooperated completely. Since the beginning of this tragic event, the messages being discussed have been entirely removed from context and don't demonstrate any awareness of or participation in illegal activities, the inquiry into calls. Investigators became involved after looking into security footage from Fritz's neighborhood, where Wolfe's car was located, distinctly recognized as having entered the house the evening Fritz passed away. A passenger was still in the car when Wolfe entered the residence, according to a sophisticated examination of the video program, but because of the quality of the footage, it was impossible to draw a conclusion that the passenger could. During Wolfe's trial, Colby was questioned about this and denied being in Fritz's home the evening of his death, which only increased suspicion. According to financial documents, Colby got a $175,000 transfer from one of Wolfe's shell corporations 2 days following Fritz's passing. The transfer was identified as business consultation fees, but investigators were unable to locate any proof of any genuine consulting work. Only a few weeks later, Colby bought a house in Puerto Rico, where she started spending more time. Prosecutors are looking into whether this is a payoff for her silence. Colby and Wolfe's connection appears to be far more nuanced than. Former crew workers have spoken out about the professional friendship shown on television, talking about situations in which the two had a tense personal connection would end right away. One of the production assistants was talking on when another person entered the room. Condition of anonymity recounted seeing Colby and Wolfe get into a heated argument over Fritz during the months. She informed Mike that Frank was becoming a burden before he departed the program, and the assistant remembered that the show would be better off without him. When I entered, both were quiet and like nothing had occurred. Possibly the most alarming, Fritz's recently uncovered diary entries, which were discovered in a storage. The unit he kept apart from his main residence is called Vault. In writings from a few weeks before to his passing, Fritz noted growing paranoia toward both Wolfe and when I'm around, Colby D and M are usually whispering, and he added, I've caught them going over my prescription several times, and they say they're just checking that I'm taking the correct. Obviously, something's off, and I no longer have faith in either of them. This journal runs counter to what Kay said during Wolfe's trial when she said Fritz completely trusted her, and he frequently told her about his failing relationship with Wolfe. Now, prosecutors are taking her into consideration. Testimony for possible lying because Fritz's notebook shows that he considered Colby to be intimately related to him. History Channel, still in shock over the controversy surrounding Wolfe's sentencing, issued a statement separating from Colby in light of these alarming claims. We have ceased all professional connections with MS. Colby, the channel stays dedicated until the investigation's findings are finalized to assisting law enforcement in their efforts to fully understand the circumstances behind these tragedy events that led to Call's quick ascent to stardom through. When American Pickers was first recruited to oversee Wolfe's antiques, they chose a unique route. Business antique archaeology. She immediately gained popularity and grew in prominence on the show. Following Fritz's departure, she frequently. Investigators are now examining if her increased role and financial support for Wolfe's selecting trips. Her possible participation in a conspiracy against Fritz could be connected to compensation. The claims that this is not the Danielle I thought I knew, Aaron said, have shocked Call's old pals. Murphy, a longtime colleague of Colby at Antique Archaeology, stated, nonetheless. In retrospect, there were moments when she and Mike were absorbed in intimate discussions, and she becoming more and more private about some business-related matters. It seemed as though there were areas of her life that she maintained entirely apart. Call's reputation has always been that of a strong, self-reliant lady who preserved her individuality while she managed to mix her involvement on American Pickers with designing while working in the male-dominated field of antique collecting. Clothes for burlesque dance and other artistic endeavors that are multifaceted. Because of her personality, she was able to connect with followers who perceived her as authentic in a field that was frequently criticized for being too dramatized. Additionally, the research turned up questionable activity in the United States. Pickers' activities surpassing what spectators saw on television. According to bank records, Colby oversaw multiple offshore accounts that generated earnings from unique, high-value items. These accounts were created with the assumption that the value was diverted to evade taxes. shell corporations such as Rusty Gold Enterprises and Vintage Solutions LLC, which received deposits totaling millions of dollars throughout the years, with frequent withdrawals. Corresponding with significant acquisitions done by forensic accountants Colby and Wolfe. Collaborating with the FBI, found about $3. Over the 5 years prior to Fritz's passing, $2 million passed through these accounts. What stood out in particular was a string of withdrawals totaling $450,000 in the months prior to Fritz's death caught the notice of investigators. This did not fall under any acceptable business expenses. Colby stated she knew very little about the financial operations of these accounts when questioned about them during Wolfe's trial. The display a claim that runs counter to recently found records containing her signature of the authorized account manager. According to legal experts following the case, KBY may be charged with anything from involvement in murder, obstructing the course of justice, and financial crimes based on the findings of the enlarged inquiry, including retired federal prosecutor James. According to Harrington, who has been following the case closely, the text messages by themselves put Colby at significant legal risk if prosecutors can demonstrate that she was aware of what Wolfe was preparing, offered assistance, or neglected to disclose it. She might have to deal with substantial prison. Over time, the repercussions have spread outside of the legal sphere with several. Colby's economic endeavors are being immediately impacted by her internet. Several planned appearances at Burlesque have resulted in a sharp decline in orders for the vintage clothing company. Her social media sites, which were previously populated with antique, behind-the-scenes looks at her life and wardrobe have stopped since the new claims surfaced. Possibly most noteworthy is Wolfe's response to the enlarged inquiry, which now includes witnesses reported Colby when she was told during a jail interview that she was now being closely watched. He is claimed to have said, "She knows everything, ask," with a smile for the first time since his conviction. Ask her about the Davenport storage and what we discovered in Frank's journal. The interview was terminated by prison officials at that point. Lisa, Time Fritz's sister, who had hardly been seen in public during the trial, released a brief statement via her attorney, confirming what our family had long suspected, that other people were. We believe that the authorities investigating Frank's death will look into the whole story, no matter how painful, since it is worthy of justice, which entails holding everyone responsible for their deeds regardless of their reputation as former crew members. Members reported that in the years preceding Fritz's departure, the workplace became more stressful and clandestine. And after passing away, there remained a persistent sense that there were two distinct American pickers.